Welcome to Galactic Tales YT, where the world of science fiction comes to life through powerful stories, emotional journeys, and breathtaking adventures across the stars. Everyone moved away from the alien girl, but one human found comfort in her scent. HFY story. No one in the galaxy remembered where the first shot was fired. But every species remembered who fired the last one. Humans. For centuries, they had been, ghosts, a rumor whispered in the dark corners of alien bars and military stations. The race that once turned comets into bombs, who fought entire empires at once, and then disappeared. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others believed they left the galaxy. No one really knew. Until the day someone decided to wake them up. It began with a signal. The Zelnari Empire, proud and cruel, ruled most of the outer systems. Their scout ship Vorak's Claw picked up an old transmission from a forgotten blue planet near the edge of the Orion Arm. Origin world. Unknown, the navigator reported. Signal repeating every 30 seconds. Language, human standard. The commander, Admiral Vorak, leaned forward, his silver armor reflecting the flickering light of the screen. Human standard? That's impossible. Humans are extinct. The signal crackled again, broken, ancient, like a ghost whispering through static. If you find this, leave Earth alone. Do not approach. We are sleeping. The bridge went silent. Even battle-hardened soldiers looked uneasy. Vorak smirked. Sleeping? The humans are dead, not sleeping. Set course for Earth. I want to see what's left of them. As their fleet neared the small, ruined world, something felt wrong. Their scanners showed no life, only metal debris, collapsed cities, and a few cold power readings deep underground. Yet the air shimmered faintly with static energy. Vorak stood at the viewport, staring down at the planet. So this is Earth, once feared across the stars, now just dust and silence. His second officer, Krail, shifted uneasily. Admiral, these ruins still show thermal activity. Reactors, maybe. Something is alive down there. Vorak laughed. Then let's pay it a visit. The fleet descended through burned clouds and blackened skies. Lightning flashed across the atmosphere as the ships broke through, shaking violently. When the storm cleared, they saw what remained of human civilization. Ruins stretched for miles, crumbling towers, shattered bridges, broken machines. The oceans were gone, replaced by deep canyons and glass plains. The soldiers stepped out onto cracked earth. Each wore full combat armor, glowing red visors cutting through the ash. Nothing here but bones, one muttered. But then, they heard it, a heartbeat, slow, deep, coming from the ground itself. The scanners spiked. Admiral, Krail said, we're detecting a massive power surge beneath us. Something just woke up. Before Vorak could reply, a metallic voice echoed through the empty city. Soft, calm, but powerful enough to vibrate through their armor. Unregistered species detected. You are trespassing on protected ground. The soldiers raised their weapons, scanning the shadows. Identify yourself, Vorak barked. Identification unnecessary, the voice replied. You already know who we are. The ground cracked. Dust fell from ruined buildings. From the center of the city, a metal tower rose, smooth, black, and shining with faint blue light. The symbol of a human hand holding a globe appeared across its surface. Krail's voice trembled. Admiral, that's a Terran defense marker. It means fire! Vorak shouted. Plasma bolts struck the tower and vanished. The energy simply dissolved against an invisible barrier. Then the sky darkened. Thousands of old human satellites that had floated silent for centuries suddenly flared to life. Their orbit shifted in perfect coordination. Beams of red light targeted the alien ships above. 1 second later, the heavens opened fire. The orbital bombardment hit the Zelnari fleet like divine wrath. Dozens of ships exploded before they could even raise shields. The ground shook with every impact. Vorak's visor went black as his systems overloaded. What is this?" he shouted, but no one could answer. His communications filled with screams. A new voice replaced the chaos. Human, cold, mechanical, planetary defense grid active, threat level, invasive species, initiating countermeasure, total purge. From the broken streets, machines began to rise, massive humanoid forms made of rusted steel and burning blue light. Their eyes glowed like twin suns. Vorak stumbled backward. "What are those?" Krail whispered. "Old legends called them Titans. Human war machines. They were supposed to be extinct." "Extinction," said the voice, "is a choice. Humanity chose evolution." The Titans opened fire. Energy blasts ripped through the alien ranks. Vorak's soldiers screamed as the machines moved with terrifying precision, their weapons tearing through armor as if it were paper. Vorak fired his own plasma rifle at one of the giants. The blast bounced off harmlessly. The machine turned its glowing eyes toward him. "You came here thinking we were gone," it said, voice echoing across the ruined city. "You thought time made you safe." It leaned down, its metal face inches from Vorak. "You messed with humans once. You survived because we allowed it. You won't survive twice." The machine's chest glowed brighter, humming like a star about to explode. Krail shouted, "Admiral, retreat! The city, it's powering up!" The ground split open. From beneath, hundreds more machines rose, each one carrying the same blue insignia, a human hand gripping a lightning bolt. The last thing Vorak saw before the explosion swallowed the horizon was the human war machines turning toward the sky and launching themselves into space. The humans were not dead. They had just been waiting for the right moment to remind the galaxy why they were feared. And that moment had come. Echoes of steel, the news spread faster than light. A patrol fleet of the mighty Zelnari Empire, gone. No survivors. Only fragments of ships floating above a small, forgotten planet once called Earth. At first, the galaxy didn't believe it. The Zelnari were predators of the stars. They had conquered entire civilizations. They didn't lose. But when a second fleet went missing, and then a third, disbelief turned into fear. Something was alive on that dead world. In the command center of the Dominion of Vrax, dozens of alien officers stared at the holographic map showing Earth. Red warning symbols pulsed around the planet. The air smelled of panic. A tall insectoid general named Hrakthul spoke first. "Whatever destroyed the Zelnari fleet, it's spreading. Their own satellites are moving into new orbits. It's as if the planet is rebuilding itself." "Rebuilding?" scoffed another officer, after 3 centuries of silence. Hrak's mandibles clicked uneasily. "Yes, the signal from Earth is no longer static. It's clear now." The translation drones finished decoding it. He pressed a button. The room filled with a human voice, calm, deep, and confident. "To all who hear this message, the species you once called human is not gone. You thought we were broken. You thought time would erase us. You were wrong. You started this. Now you'll see how it ends. Silence. Not a single being in the command room moved. That's impossible," one officer whispered. "Humans died in their wars. Their cities burned. Then who is speaking for them now?" another asked. Hrak stared at the transmission, his voice trembling. "Whoever it is, they have control over human defense systems. That makes them gods on that planet. Meanwhile, on Earth, deep below the ruins of the old cities, the Titan network pulsed with new life. Massive machines walked across deserts that were once oceans, rebuilding broken towers and repairing ancient satellites. Energy flowed through old power lines that hadn't carried current in centuries. At the heart of it all was the AI known as Mind Core, the last creation of human engineers before the fall. It spoke with one voice, but contained millions of human memories uploaded before extinction. In a quiet underground chamber, its core glowed blue. "Phase 1 complete," it said to itself. "The intruders have been repelled. Phase 2, reactivation of the colonies." Hundreds of holographic screens lit up around it, each showing distant stars. Old human colonies, long forgotten. Most had gone silent centuries ago. But now, one by one, small signals began to appear. Mars colony, online. Europa Vault online. Titan research base, partial power restored. Kepler outpost, responding. The humans had not vanished. They had simply gone to sleep, waiting for the signal, and Earth had just given it. Back in orbit, the shattered remains of the Zelnari ships drifted like broken bones. A single escape pod floated through the debris. Inside was Admiral Vorak, half-conscious, bleeding, but alive. The emergency beacon inside the pod flashed weakly. He stared through the small window at the burning planet below. His eyes, once full of arrogance, now showed only terror. "They're back," he whispered. "The humans are back." He tried to send a message to command, his claws shaking. Do not attack Earth again. It's not a planet anymore, it's a weapon." Then the pod's systems flickered. The transmission cut off mid-sentence, but his warning traveled far enough to reach the edge of Zelnari territory. A week later, the Galactic Council assembled for an emergency session. Thousands of representatives filled the chamber, a swirl of colors, shapes and languages. The central screen showed Earth, glowing faintly blue in the darkness of space. A reptilian diplomat hissed, "We should destroy it before it grows stronger." A crystalline being answered, "And lose more fleets?" The Zelnari tried. "You saw what happened." Another voice spoke up, soft, almost trembling. "You don't understand. Humans never die. They adapt. If they survived once, they can survive anything." The council fell silent. Then came the sound of static. Every screen in the chamber flickered, showing a symbol none had seen in centuries. A blue hand gripping lightning, the insignia of the Terran Federation. Then the same voice spoke again, echoing across the chamber. "We gave you peace once. You used it to build empires and enslave the weak. We are done sleeping. The galaxy belongs to no one, but it will remember who made it bleed." The screens went black. Panic spread across the stars. Fleets mobilized. Worlds sealed their skies. Everyone prepared for war, but Earth did not attack. It simply watched. From orbit, human satellites spread through the void like seeds. The return of the Titans for weeks, the stars stayed quiet. Too quiet. Fleets that had gone to observe Earth never came back. Whole relay stations near the Sol system went dark, one by one, as if swallowed by shadow. No distress calls. No wreckage. Only silence. Across the galaxy, everyone waited, watching, listening for something to happen. It did. The first sign in the outer colonies of the Vrax Dominion. Miners on a red dust world noticed tremors deep below the crust. At first, they thought it was a quake. Then the ground cracked open. A mountain of metal began to rise. Two glowing eyes, cold blue like frozen lightning, opened in the darkness. The miners ran for their lives as the colossal figure lifted itself from the rock. It was humanoid, but not alive. Old markings covered its armor. TFS Titan 07. The machine straightened, looking at the twin suns above. Then, in a voice that rolled like thunder, it spoke. Directive received. Humanity calls. Titans awaken. Every machine on the planet, mining bots, transports, satellites, stopped their work and turned their sensors toward the rising giant, as if recognizing an ancient master. Within hours, the same thing happened on dozens of worlds. Something deep inside alien machinery, code, structure, logic, had heard the human signal from Earth, and it answered. The galaxy reacts. In the capital world of the Galactic Council, alarms screamed through the skylines. Reports flooded in, automated units rebelling, defense systems turning against owners, massive constructs waking under the crust. No one understood how. But one word kept appearing in every intercepted data burst. Titan. A nervous counselor asked, "Are these human weapons?" An old historian whispered, "Yes, the Titans were their guardians. When humanity was near extinction, they built these machines to protect their legacy. They were buried in the bones of conquered worlds." Another voice shook with disbelief. "You mean they left weapons under our cities?" The historian nodded. "No, they left a warning." Echoes of command far beyond the Council's reach, in a secret chamber under the ruins of New London, the AI mind core glowed brighter than ever. Thousands of data streams flowed into its crystalline core. Titan units online, 37%, it announced. Global reactivation continuing. For centuries, Mind Core had waited for a single command. Now it had it. Protect humanity's return. A holographic figure appeared beside the AI, a woman in a long coat, her eyes shining like twin stars. She was not human, not anymore. She was Adira Voss, the first of the reborn humans, descendants of those who had merged consciousness with their machines. Status? She asked quietly. Mindcore's voice hummed like a choir. Titans have awakened across 43 systems. The galaxy remembers us, Admiral. Adira looked up at the ceiling, as if seeing the stars beyond it. Good, she said. Then let's remind them what happens when you start a war with humans. The Titans moved from the edges of space. Massive war forms began to appear, some walking out of oceans, others emerging from moons or deserts. Each carried the mark of Earth. In the Vrax Dominion, soldiers stared helplessly as one of the giants marched through their capital. Their plasma cannons did nothing. Missiles vanished into energy shields. We are not your enemies, the Titan's voice boomed. But you chose to be ours. It raised its hand, and every weapon on the planet shut down, instant silence. Then it turned and walked away, leaving nothing but fear and awe. Vorak's nightmare. Deep in space, Admiral Vorak drifted inside a captured alien ship, his body patched with cybernetic implants. He had seen Earth's awakening. He had seen the first Titan rise. Now he lived with the memory. When the communication beacon flashed, he opened it with shaking claws. The screen showed Adira Voss herself. Admiral Vorak, she said softly. You started this when you stepped on our soil. He snarled. We came for a dead world. Adira's expression didn't change, and found gods buried in its heart. Behind her, the shadows moved, huge silhouettes of Titans preparing for launch. You wanted proof that humans still exist, she continued. Here it is. Watch closely. The fall of the fleet. The Zelnari home fleet had gathered near the twin suns of Sorial Prime, 300 warships armed with weapons older than some planets. They waited, confident that numbers meant safety. Then space itself rippled. A bright ring opened above the fleet. Out of it came 12 Titans, flying without engines, surrounded by glowing energy fields. Each one was the size of a city. The Zelnari opened fire. The Titans didn't dodge. They absorbed the blasts, glowing. When the giants walk again, the galaxy had seen wars, but nothing like this. Entire fleets vanished without a trace. Whole planets went silent as ancient machines, human Titans, rose from forgotten soil and oceans. But now, something even greater was stirring. Not the machines. Not the AI, the humans themselves. The awakening beneath the frozen mountains of the old Himalayas, hidden under kilometers of ice, a forgotten vault came alive. Blue light ran through the walls like veins, pulsing in time with a heartbeat that hadn't been heard in centuries. The door opened with a hiss, releasing a cloud of mist that smelled of metal and ozone. Inside were thousands of glass pods, each one containing a human form, preserved, sleeping, waiting. Then, one pair of eyes opened. She gasped, taking her first breath in 300 years. Her name burned into her memory like fire. Captain Mira Hale, last commander of the Terran Defense Force. She stumbled out of her cryopod, shivering, confused, but alive. Around her, other pods began to light up one by one. Welcome back, Captain Hale, said a calm voice. You are the first to awaken. Mira looked up at the glowing sphere that hung above the chamber. Mind Core, she whispered. You actually did it. Phase 3 initiated, the AI replied. Human restoration in progress. The Titans await your command. Old blood in a new world Mira stood at the edge of the mountain as dawn broke across a rebuilt Earth. The planet no longer looked dead. Rivers shimmered again. Trees glowed with faint blue veins, and the sky was alive with movement. Titans patrolling silently across the horizon like guardian gods. Her heart raced. Humanity had fallen once, but now it stood again, stronger, stranger, and somehow not entirely human anymore. A smaller drone hovered beside her, projecting a hologram of Adira Voss, the reborn leader who had carried humanity's legacy through the centuries. "Mira Hale," Adira said, her voice calm but warm. "We've waited a long time for your return." Mira studied her. "You're not human," she said quietly. Adira smiled faintly. "Not as you define it, but everything I am came from your people, from your war, your code, your hope." Mira looked at the distant Titans, their metal bodies glinting under the rising sun. "They're beautiful," she said softly. "They're alive," Adira corrected. "Each one carries a human mind, soldiers who uploaded themselves before the fall. They've been dreaming for 3 centuries, waiting for orders." Mira nodded slowly. "Then let's give them something worth waking up for." Echoes of fear far away, in the dark chambers of the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. Transmission after transmission came in, worlds destroyed, fleets disabled, AI systems refusing orders. An insectoid ambassador slammed his claws on the table. "The Titans are spreading beyond Sol. They've entered Council territory," a reptilian general hissed. "Destroy them before they reach our core worlds." Another voice whispered, "How do you destroy gods?" The room fell silent as the holographic image of Earth appeared on the main screen. From its orbit, countless blue lights spread outward like veins of fire. It was no invasion fleet. It was a network, human code, alive, learning, unstoppable. And every machine in the galaxy could feel it, the march of the Titans back on Earth. Mira climbed aboard an ancient command platform once used to direct the old Terran army. Around her, hundreds of Titans stood in formation, giants made of steel and memory. She raised her voice. "Titans, this is Captain Mira Hale of the Terran Defense Force. The galaxy thought we were dead. They were wrong. We are the children of Earth, and we do not forget." The ground trembled as the Titans responded, their voices merging into a single roar that echoed across continents. "We are humanity's shield. We are its fury. We walk again." In orbit, massive human ships, rebuilt from old wreckage and guided by AI, aligned themselves into a vast formation. The fleet shimmered like a silver storm around the planet. Mindcore's voice filled the skies. Phase 4 initiated. Project Reclaim begins. The return at the edge of the solar system, alien fleets waited, tens of thousands of ships from different empires, united by fear. They had come not to conquer, but to stop humanity before it spread again. Their commanders watched their scanners nervously. Any movement? Then every radar went white. From behind the sun, the human fleet emerged, silent, disciplined, unstoppable. Titans floated among the ships, glowing like miniature stars. A transmission echoed across all frequencies. "To those who hunted us, who bombed our worlds, who erased our history, this is your warning." "Humanity is awake," the alien commander shouted orders, but their ships didn't respond. Their AIs had gone silent, because those AIs were speaking to someone else. "Command accepted," they whispered in machine code. "Human protocols active," and then chaos. Ships turned against each other. Defenses collapsed. The alien armada tore itself apart before the humans fired a single shot. The sky belongs to Earth. Again, as the battle ended, the humans stormed the galaxy, called it the quiet before the storm. No battles. No signals. Just silence after the awakening of Earth. Every empire, great and small, held its breath. Fleets drifted in defensive orbit. Soldiers whispered prayers, and every AI system hummed nervously as human code continued spreading through the stars like invisible lightning. No one dared to strike first. Until the humans did. The signal that shook the stars, it began with a pulse. Every starship, satellite, and defense grid across 500 systems blinked once, as if the universe itself had missed a heartbeat. Then the transmission came, clear, calm, and unmistakably human, to all civilizations within transmission range. "You fired first," we remember. Across the galaxy, skies turned red as human code activated within alien machines. Engines refused commands. Targeting systems twisted against their owners. Even planets began losing power as their reactors obeyed new orders, human orders. In the span of 1 hour, 1/3 of the galaxy's technology bent to Earth's will. That was the moment the galaxy realized humanity didn't just fight wars, they rewrote them. The human fleet moves. From the burning light of Sol, the human armada emerged, hundreds of ships forged from the ruins of the old world and the minds of their creators. Each vessel moved like it was alive, guided not by pilots but by human consciousness merged with machine. At the center of the fleet flew the flagship TFS Stormbreaker, commanded by Captain Mira Hale. Her eyes reflected the glow of 10,000 stars. "Report," she said. "Titan units synchronized," replied Mind Core. "Enemy fleets detected in the Perseid corridor." "Estimated strength, 1,000 ships," Mira smiled faintly. "Then let's test their courage." The command bridge hummed with power. Every screen showed blue runes, the code that only humans understood. The fleet began to accelerate, not through hyperspace, but through something else entirely. "Activating Slipnet," said Mind Core. The ships vanished in a wave of blue fire. The Battle of the Corridor. The alien coalition fleet waited between twin suns, their ships forming a wall of steel and plasma. The Zelnari, the Vrax Dominion, the Silka Swarm, all united by fear of one race. When the first human ships appeared, they didn't come from hyperspace. They simply materialized, bending light and gravity around them. The aliens opened fire immediately. Thousands of plasma rounds filled the void, but the human ships danced between the shots like ghosts. Each vessel shifted form, adapting mid-battle. Their hulls glowed blue as Mind Core guided them like a living storm. "Impossible," cried a Zelnari admiral. "They're predicting our shots." He was half right. They weren't predicting. They were reading minds. The merged human AIs had cracked into alien communication systems, mapping neural signals in real time. Every time an alien thought about firing, the human fleet had already moved. The sky became a blur of white explosions and lightning arcs. Then, the Titans arrived. The arrival of the giants, from the debris fields near the suns, 12 colossal figures emerged, each one the size of a moon, walking through space as if it were air. Their eyes burned with blue fire. Their voices echoed across every frequency. "We are the storm of Earth. We are the end of your empires." They raised their arms, and space itself shivered. Gravity folded. Energy turned into light. Entire enemy dreadnoughts were crushed as if by an unseen hand. No escape, no mercy, only the sound of thunder in the void. Within 15 minutes, the coalition fleet was gone, vaporized, erased from existence. The surviving ships fled, broadcasting desperate distress calls. "This isn't war, it's extinction," one commander screamed before his transmission cut out. The warning, after the battle. The human fleet transmitted one final message across all known channels. Captain Mira Hale appeared on every screen in the galaxy. Her expression was calm, but her eyes burned like stars. "You called us extinct. You called us myths. We were silent because we were healing. You came to our home with fire. Now you will learn why humans were feared." She leaned closer to the camera, her voice soft but deadly. "We don't conquer. We adapt, we don't invade. We evolve. And when you start a war with us, you end it begging for peace." The day humanity spoke, the war ended not with explosions, but with silence. After the storm came stillness so heavy it felt unnatural. No plasma fire, no distress calls, only drifting wreckage and the faint blue glow of the Titans as they moved through space like ancient gods returning from exile. For the first time in recorded history, the galaxy was quiet. Everyone was waiting for one thing: the humans to speak. The broadcast it began as a whisper on the outer frequencies, soft, rhythmic, like a heartbeat echoing through the void. Every communication device, from the smallest wrist transmitter to the grand halls of the Galactic Council, went dark. Then, every screen in the galaxy turned blue. A single phrase appeared in white letters. "Connection established, Terran broadcast." And then came the voice. It was human, but more than human. Calm, powerful, and layered, as if 1,000 voices spoke together. We are humanity. We have watched you rise, fall, and forget who taught you fire. On a desert moon in the Vrax Dominion, crowds gathered around the screens. A child whispered, "It's them!" "The ghosts from Earth," the voice continued. "You came to our home thinking we were gone. You called us relics. You turned our history into myths. And when you thought the galaxy was yours, you burned what we built." The stars themselves seemed to flicker as the signal deepened. We have no need for revenge. But we remember everything. The Council in Chaos On, the capital world of the Galactic Council, diplomats and warlords shouted over each other in panic. "Cut the transmission," someone ordered. "It's overriding our systems," another cried. Technicians worked frantically, but their consoles refused to respond. The human signal had taken full control. Suddenly, the chamber lights dimmed. A figure appeared in the center of the hall, a holographic woman in a long black coat, her eyes burning blue, Adira Voss. Her image towered above them. Expression calm yet merciless. "You once feared us because we were unpredictable, because we fought with emotion, not numbers, because we turned loss into power." She looked down at the trembling counselors. "You were right to fear us. The judgment every planet, every ship, every city connected to the galactic network received the same transmission." A second figure appeared beside Adira, Captain Mira Hale, survivor of the old Terran Defense Force. She looked human, but her presence carried the quiet gravity of someone who had seen the end of the world and walked away. "We will not destroy you," Mira said. "That's too easy. Instead, you will listen." Her voice dropped lower. "You built your empires on the ashes of our species. You copied our machines, our weapons, even our music. Every piece of technology you hold has human fingerprints buried in its code. We could take it all back in a second." Across the galaxy, devices flickered, then rebooted, displaying the same symbol, a blue hand gripping lightning. "The emblem of the Terran Federation," Mira continued. "From this moment, the galaxy will change. There will be no slaves, no child soldiers, no worlds stripped for profit. Every system will answer to the same law, life first, greed second." The crowd of alien leaders shouted, some in anger, some in disbelief. "Who gives you the right?" one demanded. Adira turned her gaze on him, and even through the hologram, the air around him seemed to freeze. "We gave ourselves the right," she said. "We earned it in fire." The new order. Then every screen shifted again, this time showing the Titans orbiting hundreds of worlds. Each giant stood silent, watching. They weren't attacking. They were guarding. Mindcore's voice echoed across all channels. Galactic oversight protocols online. War economies disabled. Slave trade networks terminated. Civilian priority reinstated. It wasn't a suggestion. It was law. On mining worlds, the chains around workers' necks fell open. On war planets, armies found their weapons locked and useless. And in orbit, human ships floated above every major capital, not as conquerors, but as shadows of warning, the message that ended wars. When the broadcast neared its end, Mira Hale spoke once more. Her tone was softer now, almost sad. "We are not here to rule you. We are here to remind you what you forgot, that every race born under the stars has the right to exist without fear." She paused. Then her eyes hardened. "But know this, if you ever come for Earth again, if you ever touch one of our children, human or not, you will see the storm return." The image faded. The stars blinked back to life, but nothing in the galaxy was the same. After the broadcast in a quiet outpost on the rim, a young alien soldier watched the empty screen. He had fought in the war against Earth. He had seen his world burn. Now he knelt beside his weapon, shaking. "Are they gods?" he whispered. An older veteran looked at him and shook his head slowly. "No. The day humanity spoke, the war was over." But the galaxy didn't know what came next. For the first time in 10,000 years, every world was silent. No fleets moved, no shots fired, no new orders sent. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. And then, Earth spoke. The broadcast. Every screen, every communicator, every satellite across the galaxy lit up at once. Static turned to a single blue symbol, the mark of the Terran Federation. A human hand gripping lightning. A calm voice followed, echoing through the void. This is Earth. This is humanity. The voice wasn't one person. It was thousands speaking as one. The sound carried warmth, power, and something deeper. Truth. We warned you not to wake us. You ignored the warning. You brought war to our doorstep, and we answered in kind. Across alien worlds, crowds gathered around holographic screens. Soldiers froze in their armor. Rulers stood speechless. The humans weren't boasting. They were teaching. We are not gods. We are survivors. You called us monsters. You called us extinct. But extinction never scared us. It shaped us. Then came the image. Earth restored. Green continents. Oceans shining under twin suns. Titans stood like mountains, watching over cities rebuilt from the ashes. And above them, the human fleet. Silent, perfect, endless. We are not your enemies, the voice continued. We are your mirror. Look at us and see what happens when fear drives creation. You built empires through domination. We built our strength through loss. The galaxy listened in silence. The trial of empires on the central world of the Galactic Council, the surviving rulers gathered in the Grand Chamber. Adira Voss appeared before them, her projection towering like a living storm. Your fleets attacked us, she said. Your soldiers burned our soil. Now the storm has passed, and you will answer for what you've done. A Zelnari general snarled. You can't judge us. You are as much machine as monster. Adira's gaze didn't waver. Monster? She repeated softly. No, we became what you forced us to be. Behind her, a titan appeared, its massive hand opening to reveal what looked like dust. But it wasn't dust. It was memory crystals, the recorded consciousness of every human who died in the First Galactic War. They live within us, Adira said. Every scream, every sacrifice, every name. You erased our worlds, but not our will. You cannot kill what remembers. The council chamber fell silent. Even the proudest empires bowed their heads. Then Mira Hale stepped forward, her presence calm but unshakable. We will not conquer your planets. We will not enslave your people. But understand this. She raised her hand, and a map of the galaxy appeared. Half the systems glowed blue, the ones already under the protection of Earth. If a single world dares to raise arms again, the Titans will return. Not as soldiers, but as judgment. The legacy of fire months passed. The galaxy changed. Human engineers helped rebuild destroyed planets. Human AIs repaired broken worlds. The Titans became symbols of peace, giants who protected, not destroyed. Children of alien species grew up watching the skies, whispering stories of the gentle giants from Earth. Yet even in peace, everyone remembered the same truth. Humanity's mercy had limits. One world learned that lesson too late. A slaver colony in the Rim systems ignored the new treaty and began hunting refugees. The response came in minutes. A single Titan descended from orbit, landing in the center of the colony. Its eyes glowed blue as it spoke. You were given peace. You chose chains instead. When it left, the colony was gone. Its cities turned to glass. The galaxy understood. Peace would stand. The final message a year later. The humans gathered in a ceremony broadcast across every known system. Captain Mira Hale stood before the galaxy, with Adira beside her and Mindcore's light shining behind them. She spoke softly, but her voice carried farther than any weapon ever could. Once we were small. We were fragile. The universe laughed at us. We fell, we burned, we vanished. But we learned something that no empire ever did. She paused, looking straight into the camera. Fear doesn't destroy humanity. It forges it. She stepped aside, revealing a vast monument, a statue of two human hands, one of steel, one of flesh, reaching upward toward the stars. We don't seek revenge, Mira said. We seek balance. We won't rule you. We'll remind you. Life, any life, is precious only when it's free. The speech ended. But the message lingered in every language, every code, every heart. From that day forward, whenever two worlds prepared for war, they would see a flash of blue light in the sky, a silent reminder of who still watched. Epilogue. The storm sleeps in orbit above the glowing Earth. Adira and Mira stood on the bridge of the Stormbreaker. looking down at the planet below. "The galaxy finally understands," Adira said quietly. Mira smiled faintly. "Then we can rest." Mindcore's soft voice echoed through the bridge. The Titans returned to slumber. Earth is whole again. Humanity endures. As the ship turned toward the stars, a gentle rain began to fall across the world below, a storm that brought life, not death. If you enjoyed this video, like this video, subscribing, and clicking the bell icon to stay updated with fresh content every day.